So, after a full day, day one of living in East Africa, Tanzania, what do I think? Well, Lord, let me tell you. Mm, let's see. I don't even know where to begin. It's such a culture shock, which, you prepare yourself, all the research, all the everything you do doesn't prepare you for when you actually land. When you actually touch the soil. And so uh, when we got here, so when you get here, you immediately, what do we go do first? We went to get our visas, and then went to exchange money. And then in that process, keep in mind we have about 20 bags, a bunch of bags. So we got these young men, to help us, and we already, we tipped them or whatever, whatever. And then at the end of that, they looked and it's like, what? This ain't enough. And I was like, wait, hold on, brother. I know I've given you plenty, probably more than you make, probably half your day's salary. I just gave you in the tip. But I think where they went wrong at, the guys I'm talking about, is they saw, because when you come here, each person, we was thinking it was each family, but each person can bring, I think, a maximum of 10,000 US dollars, which we didn't quite have that much, but close to it. And so they watched us over at the bank, exchange our money. And so they figured that, they were going to get a lick off of us. And, I have no problem with tipping people, you know what I'm saying? But as far as, people getting over, I just don't really do that, you know. And then again, if the attitude was better, I probably would have done it. So, but it was like, no, it's not enough, not enough, not enough. No, it was enough, but besides all that, we worked that out, and we ended up getting moved, getting all our stuff, and we had so many bags that the transport guy, he had to take his van and a car, and so just watching, the movement of the people, it's just different. It's not bad, it's just different. People see the situation of the people. This is just the area that we're in now, so I'm not discouraged at all. I'm just looking, just culture shock. I think it's awesome to see our people, be around our people. But the thing that I don't like is, since, we are, from where we are, it's still a divide. And this is just day one. But, I don't want that divide to be there. And then since it's out right now, so, with the people that we're around, it's a financial gap. And so that's also a divide as well. So, overall, I like it. I'm looking forward to better things, more things. Um, it's just interesting. You look at, we're coming from the U.S. and things are polished. roads, roads are polished. For the most part, we have some potholes, this, that, and the other. But over here, boy, that ain't it. Some of the roads are really, well, I ain't gonna say over here, but in the area where I'm at, it can get rough. And I have no desire to drive right now. Just and then also being on the other side of the road. I don't want to say the wrong side. I just say the other side of the road. It's just interesting. And, I took a few videos. I'm gonna post them at the end of this. But yeah, day one, It's pretty good. And then another thing, when people talk about, getting scammed, and I just have to address this. When we, it to me, okay, so we went and got pizza. Just a quick story. Me and my wife, we went and got, the children pizza. We got us pizza last night, and across the street from the Pizza Hut, yeah, they have a Pizza Hut. There's a local market guy. There's a couple of local markets, so I went over, and they had some fruit that I'd never seen before. I was like, "Hey man, what is this?" And he didn't speak no English. I don't speak hardly any Swahili. And he tried to explain it to me. He got cut it open. He said, "Man, hey, taste it." Man, that thing was good. I don't even know what it was. It did have seeds, but it was like a mix between a lemon and an orange or something. It's great. And I was like, "Man, how much?" And he tried to tell me, and I knew he was getting over it. He told me how much, and he put them in the bag, and I think I gave him like, I don't know, it's like 5,000 T shillings, which is not a lot of money. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. I gave him and I said, and I saw him laughing. I said, "Y'all getting over on me, right?" And they looked, and they didn't really say nothing. They just kept laughing. And so I gave him the money. And you think about it, okay, so really what is the conversion rate? The conversion rate, 5,000 T shillings is not even $2. Okay, so if this guy is really scamming me, which that's not really nothing. I mean, $2, I lose $2. You know, on that note, that really wasn't nothing. And so, but on the bigger items, you just have to be, more diligent and just watch what you do. Love everybody, but really, when it comes down to your money, you gotta trust, the people that you're around and look into something. And so we have to protect ourselves, from these things. But on the general level, as far as, paying a little bit more for this or paying a little bit more for that, it really boils down to cents, so many cents. And so, and then if you look at it, it's still cheaper than what I would have paid in America. However, I don't want to make it a habit for, people to see me and be like, "Oh yeah, we can jack it up, raise it up." Because I ain't gonna go for that. I just ain't gonna do it. But, on a small level, people are just trying to survive. People are just trying to make some money. I get that. So I really have no problem with that. So that's all I have for the first day. I'm looking forward to seeing more, going to a different area, trying to see some of the expats, some of the people that have actually migrated or exodus from the U.S. to East Africa, because I heard there's a large quantity of people that have done that over here. So that's all I have. Stay tuned don't to the end of the video so you can watch how these people drive, because this is amazing. Shalom. Love y'all.
Tanzania na Marekani.
Yeah, I know, right.
Uongozi mahiri wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan katika kukuza mahusiano ya kidiplomasia ndani na nje ya Tanzania. Hilo kumuenzi hayati Mwalimu Nyerere kwa lengo kwa mambo mazuri aliyofanya akiyafanya ambayo yataelezwa. Shindano hilo litahitimishwa Oktoba 14 mwaka huu, ambapo washindi watano watapatiwa zawadi mbalimbali zikiwemo kompyuta mpakato na fedha taslimu. Ankari J7 Mrokia Mara Kia Bakari, hongera jeshi la polisi kwa kukamata mirungi, kwani ni hatari kwa afya zetu. Andika ujumbe wako hivyo. Wewe unasema unaitwa Felius Festo huko Kibaha Kongwe, unasema ni pamoja sana Bongo FM. Tukusome kama Kitundu Nyerere. Tanzania na Marekani.
Yeah, I know, right.
Uongozi mahiri wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania